Welcome back to Bully Ball, a San Francisco 49er podcast. It's midweek. The 49ers just lost 19 to 17 to the Browns. The 49ers, they just struggle in these trap games, man. Team on their third quarterback. You could possibly say their second because they just wanted to see the rookie the week before. But a 2-2 team going into the game, kind of like last year when the 49ers lost to the Falcons, right? Terrible team, should have been an easy win. But this game was kind of a trap game because they do have the best defense in the NFL. What were your initial takeaways, but how are you feeling now about the game, first off? Now that we've seen, how it went, had a couple days to think on it, had some key injuries. How you feeling right now about how that game went?
We had a lot of opportunity to win that game. Um, it was an ugly game, like you said. It was a good defense, but I feel to start off that game, Shanahan came out with a different game plan right off the top. And he had mentioned something I seen, I think it was by halftime or something, that he had to change the game plan. He couldn't come out with the same game plan he came out with Dallas because we would have had a bunch of picks. And if you go back in history with Shanahan in the big games, he chokes. I feel like, yes, he knew it was going to be the best defense out there. And so he overthinks it instead of coming after them with everything we have. He tries to change the game plan, being so smart and stuff, and ends up screwing us. I think it was ugly from the start. We changed the way we were coming at teams. We were playing scared, and then everything just started unfolding from there. Like we had some drop balls. Ayuk hasn't been dropping lately. Purdy obviously had a terrible game as well. I mean, it just went downhill from there, but I think it started with the whole game plan. I think we did half that battle was on our own against ourselves.
Yeah, and I mean that first drive, they march right down the field and score, and you think, all right, this game's probably a wrap. Pretty sure the 49ers stopped the Browns on their first drive as well, got the ball back. And you're like, all right, it's about to be 14-0, game's over. But didn't end up happening like that. Their defense adjusted quick. Jim Schwartz made the key changes. I don't know what he did, but 49ers march right down the field, score, and then only put up 10 points the rest of the game after that. So that is what you love to see from a defensive coordinator point of view. Those quick, snappy adjustments. And 49ers didn't do much the rest of the day. The only reason they scored again was that pick that put them on like what, the 8-yard line. So Jim Schwartz has Kyle Shanahan's number. I think Kyle Shanahan is, I believe I saw one in like 7 against him now. And that's their defensive coordinator. So that's, it's crazy to say, but he got beat. And like you said, they had mentioned, oh, Kyle Shanahan said we can't do what we normally do in this game, or else we'll let them tee off on us. Well, they tee it off on you no matter what you were going to do. So, yeah, the offense was bad, but let's talk about the defense a little bit. How'd you feel about the defense in this game? They only gave up 19 points, but at the end of the day, when it came down to it in key moments of the game, they got beat. How'd you feel about the defense's performance?
Like you said, that we gave up 19 points. That wasn't terrible. But the other thing you got to look at is this was their third string quarterback. This was Walker. I liked him in the XFL, but he's not one of the elite quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like he was running around on this field where he looked like he was Purdy. You know what I mean? Like with the hype that Purdy has around him, he looked like that. He looked like their starting quarterback. They were known for the best defense, not the best offense. And we weren't making the adjustments and stuff. You've seen our coach up in the box look scared as hell. It's like, come on, man, what are we doing? If we're that team and we have the potential to be that team, the coaches have to make adjustments. And we've been fans long enough. We don't make adjustments. Like we'll figure out a way to win some games, but we don't really make those adjustments where we're getting eaten up, and then all of a sudden, boom, we make that adjustment. Oh shit, there we go, we figured it out. We never really been that team.
Yeah. And I mean, PJ Walker, he threw 2 interceptions, 192 yards passing. Amari Cooper made one great catch on the sideline that was like Charvarius Ward was in perfect position, but you couldn't stop that play. And then the other big play was the 58-yard gain where Diamador Lenore fell down. I mean, what can you do about that? He slipped and fell. But the big issue was the 49ers gave up, 160 rushing yards. And they didn't have Nick Chubb. Yes, they have a good offensive line, but their all-pro guard was out. You had Jerome Ford rush for 84 yards, Kareem Hunt 47 yards, a touchdown. That's concerning because, the 49ers, if you're not going to have a good pass rush from the front four, at least the run defense should be good. Neither have been good at all this season. So, it's kind of interesting because you have all these star players, or at least highly paid players, on the D line, and they're not doing anything. Randy Gregory came in off of 1 week of practice and was the 49ers' best defensive lineman overall, I would say, against the run and the pass this week. How do you feel about the D line so far?
Like you said, it's there. And in games like this, I'd like to see more. We got Bosa.
Hello?
You there?
Yep.
So, we got Bosa, and I feel like now that he got paid, I know he's a worker. He's always going to be putting in the work, but I just feel like he's not even he ain't doing what those other elite players are doing.
Yeah, I mean, right now he can't really win one-on-one right now. He's getting double teamed a lot. We'll say that. But when he was one-on-one with the rookie, DeJuan Jones, he was getting locked down by a rookie. And the reason I wanted to mention DeJuan Jones, let me pull up the PFF pass rush grades for the 49ers real quick. Put them on the screen. 1 second here. All right, so here's the pass rushing grades for the 49ers in this game. But yeah, Nick Bosa was going one-on-one versus DeJuan Jones, a rookie that was drafted in the 3rd round this year, and he wasn't doing anything. You see his pass rushing grade here, 63.6. He had the sack. He wasn't blocked on that play. But you see he had 16 pass rushing snaps, and he had 1 hit. And he had the 1 batted pass, but that's it. No hurries. He was getting clamped up by DeJuan Jones. And the reason I wanted to mention DeJuan Jones is the 49ers drafted 2 players, 3, but the 2 ahead of him that I wanted to mention are Jake Moody and Cameron Latu, the tight end. They were both drafted before DeJuan Jones. So, that's something I just wanted to mention because I was really upset when the 49ers drafted those 2 players. How does that make you feel, seeing Nick Bosa, our star pass rusher, getting beat by this guy that we could have drafted instead of those 2 players?
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough because coming into the draft, we knew what our needs were. And we just drafted like we had everything already. You know what I mean? And we just got a little extra. Let's just work on getting better in the future. not really taking care of what we needed right now. Because there is a lot of pressure on Bosa. What is it, Gregory? He
Yep.
is going to help out. You know what I mean? But we just got him now, and you can't just fully rely on Bosa. And we knew that coming in, that we had a lot of guys that maybe we thought could be good this year. Because we did lose a couple guys from last year's team. But then we go and we do that, and then it pisses me off. Like, I ain't bagging on the Niners. That's my team. I'll ride with them win or lose. It's just frustrating at times. We go and we get this damn kicker. In the third round, we could have got a game changer in a many positions, and we picked this kicker up. And the young kid, I hate to bag on him. Man, we already lost the game relying on him. If this is playoffs, we're done. You're at home, your season's done, and who knows what team we're bringing back next year. You know what I mean? We can't afford that kind of stuff. Like, it's not like it was a 57, 62, something crazy. That should have been a regular kick. And then he missed 2 kicks in one game, not even just the one. That's frustrating as hell right there.
Yeah, and I mean, the first kick, whatever, the weather was bad. It was like a 53-yarder. You miss it, whatever. You're going to miss some of those deep kicks and in bad weather. But first, the 49ers could have ran another play and got some extra yards to make that a shorter kick and then called a timeout. That's what I would have done. I didn't trust Jake Moody going into that kick in the first place. Get him some extra yards, help him out. Second, it's a 42-yarder straight down the middle. Like, this should be easy kick all day long for you. But we saw in the preseason, it was the preseason. There's no pressure. The lights are not bright. And this dude was missing kicks, getting iced and missing kicks in the preseason. You see this dude on the sideline and his eyes are wide open. Like, this dude is not built for pressure. Like, I do not trust him one bit with a game on the line. If it's a normal kicking situation, whatever, this dude is not built for pressure. Even in the post-game interview, this dude just looked like he had no confidence in the world. And that, you cannot have a kicker like that. I don't care where he was drafted. Man, it's tough. It's tough. Dallas's kicker, just to mention somebody else. This dude, I believe this dude didn't even play football in college. He was just a soccer player. And this dude's over here nailing kicks. And we got a dude that, man, it's rough. I don't know what you can really say about it. Hopefully he gets better, but I don't know if you can get confidence or get better under pressure like that. It is who you are. Do you think he can improve in those situations? Especially after already losing some confidence, missing one like that?
I think you can, because you're young, but it's going to take time. And how confident now is Shanahan going to be in him? Now Shanahan's going to change the way we would go into these situations, which could screw you sometimes. Because now we got to start all over on the rebuilding process. And if you just think, oh, it was what it was, hey, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? I was already nervous from the 5 misses he had in preseason. Then he went like 7 for 7 or something like that. Like, he was doing good. But I'm not going to lie, anything past 30, I was still nervous, like, all the time. Like, oh, shit, here we go. Let's see. When he was getting ready on that kick, I was nervous, like, damn, man, come on. Let's go, Moody. Let's go. But on the backside, I was still nervous, like, watch, he's probably going to miss this.
Well, and this was the first real pressured situation. Those games the 49ers were winning and they were supposed to win. This game, you could tell it was a slugfest. It was going to be, 1 to 3 points is going to win you the game. And then it starts happening, the downfall. So you hate to see it. Here's the pass the pass blocking grades for the 49ers in the game. Trent Williams was the worst, but obviously he was banged up and he was going against the best pass rusher in the NFL. So what can you expect? And most of the pressures he gave up were on that last drive, which the 49ers marched down the field, got in position to win. So you take it for what it is. Hopefully, we do know Trent is day to day with an ankle sprain. That's best case scenario. That one's a wash. Um, but man, you look at Spencer Burford and Jake Brendel, they've just been getting beat like a drum. And in the offseason, we said, I hope they upgrade the center position from Jake Brendel. They signed him to a 3-year deal. It is what it is. But man, Spencer Burford has been getting beat like a drum all season, and it does not matter who it is. It didn't matter if it was Aaron Donald or some no-name guy. He was getting beat like a drum. And I think it's time to take him out and put in the backup. I forget who it was, but he played last week for Aaron Banks when he got hurt. Do you know who it was?
No,
Was it Feliciano? It might have been Feliciano.
it might have been.
Yeah, but I think it's time to put Feliciano or whoever it is in for Burford, man. He's been getting beat like a drum. Yeah, 49er minded said Feliciano. I think it's time to give him a shot. He looked pretty good last week when he filled in for Banks, and that interior pressure has been terrible, man. And in Brock Purdy's worst game, you need to help him as much as you can. Burford hasn't been doing that all season, but Brock's been good enough to overcome that. He couldn't do it this game. So what do you think about, the offensive line this week?
We need help. I think we need to get somebody before this deadline. Because in all honesty, I feel like this is our chance, with the money caps and everything, all the stuff coming after. Like, I think we got to go all in this year. We got to get one before we hit that downward spiral. And we're going to be playing some tough teams coming down the line, and they're going to look at this game and they're going to adjust and try to play us like the Browns did. And like you said, Purdy had a rough game. He was off. You could tell something was off towards the first part of the game. I was like, damn, is he sick or something? Something looks a little different. And he did enough to get us to win that game. And there's going to be times that we have shitty games. You're going to be off, like we seen Ayuk dropping balls. Purdy was overthrowing, a lot of stuff was going on. Debo goes out. CMC goes out, like Trent was hurt. Like in those situations, you need to dig deep, find a way just to win, do enough to win. And Purdy did his job. He marched us down with a minute something, got us in the field goal range, and we know what happened. But we do need help there. We need some help on that line, because when we get those tough guys, and those are the teams that we're going to play when it really counts, we need to be able to do something for him. He gets pressured a lot, and he needs just a little bit more time to make something happen in there.
Yeah. And as you can see here, on throws over 10 yards, Purdy was 2 for 10 with an interception. So he was inaccurate all day. The interception was a very inaccurate pass thrown behind the receiver. He fumbled the ball. It slipped right out of his hands. It just looks like he might be a fair weather quarterback. Maybe he has small hands or something, but he was very inaccurate. Couldn't do anything all day. But like you said, when it mattered, he got it done. Kind of was Brandon Ayuk bailing us out on that long catch and run. But we got into position. But again, like you said earlier, Brandon Ayuk, he got it done in the end, but there were some nice passes that Purdy put on him, and he dropped him again. It was kind of sad to see because we said that last year for BA to become that true star wide receiver one, you got to make those tough catches. And this game, he didn't do it again. He went back to the last year where he dropped those tough passes that you got to catch in these crucial moments, especially when your two other star players are out. CMC was out at the time, Debo was out. You got to make those crucial catches, especially when your quarterback isn't playing a good game. If he puts one on you, you got to catch it because you don't know when the next one's going to come. Um, but yeah, so it was a rough game, man. Overall, just everybody looked a little rough, but in the end, they made the plays, got in position to win the game. They didn't do it. Hopefully, they can do it in the future. It's a learning situation. And now we move on to the Vikings this week. Got a long week, Monday night game, so that's nice. Debo is day to day, Dre Greenlaw is day to day, and Trent Williams is day to day. So that extra day will help you, and hopefully all of those guys are back for this game. They said they don't know with CMC. He was getting MRIs to see what was really going on. I wouldn't play him even if he could play this week. Let him sit. The Vikings are without Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the NFL, and their pass rusher. Which one is it? Marcus Davenport is out already of this game as well. And then their left guard is dealing with an injury. He's questionable for the game. So, this is another game. Vikings have been terrible, but every game they've been in has been close. So this is another one of those trap games that the 49ers cannot look past. How are you feeling heading into this game?
So I still feel confident in our team. We take that loss. I'm not going to make it bigger than what it is. We should have won because you didn't mention either that fucking penalty on the drive they scored. That was BS right there. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we still had a chance to win that game. So it doesn't matter what was what before. But going forward, I think Shanahan needs to, you adjust and you game plan per team, but you can't go scared. You know what I mean? We're a dominant team. We have a bunch of playmakers. Play our game. And if we get beat, you make them beat us. Don't beat ourselves. You make them come out and they got to beat us. I think, like you said, with CMC, I would let him rest because that kind of injury, that's almost like I think what Bosa had a while back, right? A core injury. Remember a couple years ago?
It was different though.
But those are those injuries where you're twisting and you're running. Like those are those lingering injuries that'll fucking haunt you at the end of the season when it's grind time. You already know Shanahan overworks CMC. And we've been saying that for a long time. Hey, get JP in there. You know what? Elijah Mitchell's back. We have enough other guys that could get the job done. Yeah, they're not MVPs, but they could get it done. Because you still have when Debo's healthy, we still have playmakers on the team. And then if Purdy's back on, the short dump pass, the quick little plays like that, get it in Kittle's hand. Like we have a lot of options that let them rest up looking for the long run. Because really that's what this is all about. You need to win enough games here that you could get into the dance, but then you want to be healthy. You don't want to just get in and by the time you get in, you're done. Because like we said, Shanahan overworks CMC. And I think right now he needs to learn how we could win with not using them as much, using our other weapons, and just getting back on. I think Purdy, I don't know what was going on. because I wasn't one of the ones that was like, oh shit, Purdy's great. He's the next Montana. I like Purdy. I think he is a good quarterback, and he could be great. I'm not saying he's not. He could be, but time will tell. Don't start putting him in the category with these greats that have 10 plus seasons. And majority of their career they were great. Let it play out. I really like him. I have trust in him. I don't know what the hell. He had a bad game, so we'll let it go. A lot of other guys had bad games with it. I think our coaching had a bad game as well. So all the critics that are like, I told you he was going to fold. This is the real Purdy. They were waiting for the opportunity. He did his job at the end. The rest of the team didn't step up with them. I think we're going to be all right with Minnesota. It's just going to show. We're going to have to play all the way around. Offense, defense, special teams. Everybody's going to have to do their job. You already know Shanahan loves Kirk Cousins. So hopefully he don't put him on some damn pedestal and change our whole damn game plan. Like, let's play these guys and let's make them beat us. Make them beat us on the field. And if they beat us, hey, you're the better team. I could take a loss. If we deserve to lose the Browns game, we deserve to lose. We played like shit even though we should have won. We played like shit all game. It is what it is.
Yeah, and the refs, they did throw that game at the end, but the refs that was the worst officiating I've seen in years. The whole game and to both teams. So they threw it at the end, but we still had a chance to win. So that's why I didn't mention it. But yeah, the Vikings, you're guaranteed good weather for this game. So, no excuse there. We'll see how these injuries shake out and if the people are able to play. But, it's a game you should win, right? You should be able to win without CMC as well. We haven't seen Brock Purdy without CMC, so it would be nice to see him without him for a week, see what he can do without him. Let him heal up, get better. Jordan Mason is a good running back, in my opinion, should be fine with him. And, you got 2 more weeks. You got to get through this Vikings game. You got to get through the Bengals game. It's another sleeper trap game. But then you get to the bye and you could rest up for a week. So, you got to stick with it. It'll be nice to see how Brock Purdy does bounce back from this bad game. It's our first time seeing him have a bad game and seeing him bounce back from it. And it'll probably be our first time seeing him play a full game without CMC. So we're going to learn a lot this week, and I like that. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. I have faith in him. I think he's going to bounce back. I'm more worried about Moody. Hey, Robbie, if you're watching this, we need to get Robbie over here.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see him kick in this game. And like I said, I believe this game is at the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play in a dome. So this is as fair weather as you're going to get. Perfect conditions for your quarterback, perfect conditions for your kicker. Everybody should get right back on track this week. And thanks for all the comments, 49ers minded. We appreciate it. But yeah, man, I want to see. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's Steve Wilks, or if it's the pass rush, because the 49ers, when they rush 4, they can't get pressure, and that's just on the players themselves. Nobody's winning one-on-one matchups, and you have all the talent to win one-on-one matchups. We know Javon Hargrave easily can beat one-on-one matchups. We know Nick Bosa should beat one-on-one matchups. Eric Armstead, I've said it for a very long time, very overpaid for what he does. He's supposed to be good against the run. He got paid because he had 11 sacks that one year. Dude hasn't done anything near that ever since. But he's supposed to have the talent to be able to win one-on-one. Um, but the addition of Randy Gregory looks like it's going to pay dividends. This dude was winning one-on-one, but why are the other players not winning? It's blowing my mind. You see these other teams getting hella pressure, hella sacks a game. We're getting like 1 to 2 sacks a game. Pressure is good, but I don't really know if you could say we're really getting pressure. These people have time and space in the pocket most of the game. What's going on? Do you think there's something happening here? We have to blitz to get pressure.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's tough. Because like you said, when you're seeing those other teams with the other elite guys on there, the opposing quarterbacks are always on the run. And ours aren't. And we see big plays where we're like, God damn, that's way too much time. Way too much time to let these plays unfold. And it's kind of frustrating because, like, on paper, shit, we should be one of the best over there. And like you said, we're just not beating it. We're not beating it. Yeah, sometimes, it is, they're doubled up, but we got to figure out a way to get in there. If you're doubled up over here, somebody on the opposite side should be able to get through. I think Gregory's really going to help us out, but I don't know. We got to see how this defensive coach is. He is different. Like, think about our last defensive coaches that were in there. They're head coaches now, and they're balling. And I don't know. Like, I don't know how I like calling from the box and shit. I like them being right down there in their face. Hey, this is the shit that's going on. This is the adjustment we need. It's different. So I don't know how I feel about it all the way around. Hopefully he could come through and show us something. Because like you said, I'm not really panicking. I'm still just kind of upset and mad about this game. But there is a lot for us to see now. There's a lot that we need to show we could overcome. And how are we going to respond to this? That's the biggest thing. How are we going to respond? Because we put a whooping on Dallas. They came out yesterday and they did all right. They came back and won. Yeah, Herbert's finger was messed up, so he wasn't hitting the throws. But, the Chargers still a pretty good team. And they came back and won. So it's all going to be on how do we come back after that loss? Are we going to come and fall and lose a couple in a row? Are we going to answer back and bounce right back to where we were?
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. The 49ers defense statistically has been good, but you look at the teams they've played, the Steelers, the Rams, the Giants, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the Browns. They haven't really played a good offense, in my opinion. You could say the Cowboys, but we've seen they haven't done anything, against a good team so far. None of those other teams are good teams, offensively at least. And it looks like they're kind of getting bailed out by Fred Warner hero ball. You know what I mean? This dude, he's playing like the best defensive player in the NFL. And without him, the 49ers are getting kind of lucky where he bails them out. Their teams are driving down the field, and then he'll bail them out with a pick or a sack or some crazy play. I'm a little worried about that defense because I was watching that Jets game versus the Eagles, and they were without their 2 star corners. They had 2 unknowns playing corner against the Eagles. And Saleh just has that defense playing at a different level. They were pressuring Hurts, making him throw interceptions, confusing him. And you could see the energy on the sideline from Saleh just affects the defense. And they're just playing phenomenal. This dude's a great defensive coordinator. And we have more talent than them, especially in that game that they just played. And we're not doing half as much on defense as them. And same thing with the Texans. Texans are supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And DeMeco Ryans has his defense playing great, even though he's they have some talent, but they're not supposed to be talented. And look at how he has that defense playing. They're winning hella games, and they're not supposed to this year. It's not adding up with our defensive talent. And you could blame the players, but I don't know. I feel like it has to do with the scheme. So we'll see if Wilkes can adjust. I don't like the Booth thing at all either. But we'll see as the season goes on. Hopefully it improves. But yeah, that's all I got for today. You got anything else?
Hopefully we got the bounce back. I have a lot of faith in this team. I think this is a really good team, special team. We just need to figure it out. I think we'll be fine without CMC this week. I really like JP. I think he's good. He could get the job done. We need to start hitting our playmakers. I think we had like one attempt to Kittle last game. We hit him one game for 3 touchdowns, and then we hit him for one fucking pass. Like, come on, man. What's going on here? Like the little quick pass, we weren't really messing with at all. And I think it's Shanahan's job as a coach. When somebody's struggling, you need to figure out how to help them. You're this wizard, like we always hear every year. He's this wizard. That's when you need to pick up those plays and all right, well, let's figure this shit out. How am I going to beat him in this chess match? So, hopefully he can make some adjustments too, because we do have a couple things that we need to break that we haven't been able to break in this past years, because I really do like Shanahan. I like having Lynch up there in the top and everything, but it's like we need to get past this hump. Like we can't just be this team that almost gets it done and then that doesn't. But I think we're going to be all right. I think this is a big game right here. We need to really come back and we need to put it on Miami. Like we need to come back with the force. These are adjustments. This is our shit. We had a big game before we lost the game. And maybe it went to the head. We were 5-0. Everybody talking about who's going to lose first, the Niners or Philly. And, I've always been one of those ones. I think you need to get that monkey off your back. I don't like running hell along undefeated. It ain't, the playoffs and the Super Bowl is what matters. And I don't want to be playing on that, oh, shit, we can't lose, we're undefeated. Yes, I want home field advantage for the playoffs. So, yes, I want to win the games that we need to win to get that. But when you start playing for that, it goes in a different direction. You know what I mean? So I don't mind getting that monkey off our back right now. Take that loss, shape back up, and fucking now it's time to go through it.
Yep, totally agree. So we'll see how the 49ers bounce back this week versus the Vikings. Monday Night Football. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.